Yeah. So, hmm, hold on. I'm gonna need more water. Hold on. Hmm. Okay. First of all, I really don't like this shirt, but um, this is like one of my shirts that I sleep in or whatever. But this shirt, I swear, used to be a different color when I first got it. See, my screen keep glitching like this. I'm not sure if it's recording it or not, but it's so aggravating. But be that as it may, I swear this shirt was a different color when I first got it, but now it's a completely different color. Like I don't know. Mm. Anyways, so I just been having a lot on my mind, a lot on my mind lately. Some good things, Um, like I was asking my daughter, like I said, this was a good move. Like I'm glad that we moved here, and I'm glad that it led to this. And in that moment, I was realizing like all the decisions I had to make to get to that point, and all the times that I had to keep choosing myself, because I could have went down a different path. I could have just like submitted. A good movie is Hunk for Jesus. I think it's called Hunk for Jesus. Now I know that movie triggered a lot of people. And the wife, like at the end, she gave this speech, and this speech was supposed to be, powerful. It's supposed to tie everything together and make it make sense, but she still sounded delusional. You know, the camera person asked her, "So why do you stay?" And she felt like she built that. She built what they have together. Like that's basically her church. Like, but man, for real, I would have been like, man, fuck all of that. She could have just moved on, and if she have the tools which she shown that she have, and built something on her own that's not attached to him. But I don't know. People be afraid to let shit go because they feel like I put all this work into it. I did all of this. So they gotta find reasons to keep holding on. And that shit makes sense to them. But the most sad part was the part with her mama. That was crazy as fuck, but that shit is accurate, okay? That shit is accurate. She was at a breaking point and she called her mama. And her mama told her that, she needed to be more grateful. He providing this big ass house, like, and then she made her feel guilty about even wanting a divorce. And her mom was in the same position. And she asked her mom, like, when did you ever like stop and do for yourself, like put yourself first? It was something on the lines of that. And she said, when he died. Mm-mm-mm. And at that motherfucking point, I would have probably been like, Hell, motherfucking on, bitch. Realizing this is a generational curse, bitch, and I ain't doing it. Hell, motherfucking on. Okay. Because at that point, you got to look at your mother as somewhere that you don't want to be. Okay. Now, some women in that generation have the common sense of like, they know they in a position that doesn't make them happy. And they will tell you, don't make those same decisions, you know? Don't get stuck like I got stuck. But if you have a delusional mama, you just got to look at them like they delusional. But I felt like instead of looking at it delusional, she just adopted that mentality. And she felt like the goal is to suffer until he died. And I'm guessing, I ain't gonna tell you the ending, but it really is one of those cliffhangers type endings. And I don't feel like it's gonna be a part two. So that shit just pissed me off because mm. Anyways, but it still don't make no motherfucking sense. See, look. I gotta tell the ending because you might want to skip past this part if you don't want to know the ending. But it was insinuating that one of the people that her husband hurt was planning on doing a drive-by and shooting him, right? That's what I was getting from it. So she was observing the situation and came to that realization. So what she did was she just stepped over to like get out the way. But what if he just come up there and just start shooting? Like you just stepping a few steps over is not going to protect you. So, see, you ain't thinking straight. You ain't thinking straight. If you was okay with him getting shot up, but what if he, well, I don't know. Oh, be that as it may, child. Um, and he was young. He probably not even a good shooter. So you just being 6 feet away, you think that you're gonna be protected? The stray bullets ain't gonna hit you? Child, I don't know. Mm, anyways, but yeah. Mm. So I've been grieving because I cut a tide, right? And I grieve over every relationship that I in and I really cared about somebody. I feel like sometimes people feel like I don't hurt, but I do. I hurt. And nah, people know that I hurt. I just hurt well. But see, in this hell that we live in this reality, Um, we are in a perpetual cycle of hurt, you know. Sometimes people feel like in order to protect themselves, they just can't express themselves. They have all these rules and dynamics and codes that they go by, and they feel like they protecting themselves, but really they just kind of like prolonging the hurt when you should, if you just face it, face the situation, like be real, express yourself, how you feel and stuff like that, you know? Like, why not? So, yeah, so regardless, you're gonna go through the cycle or whatever. But see, I be hating to waste time, so I like to go ahead and do shit, confront it head on. So yeah, I remember when I was like younger, in my early 20s, and I used to say something. I used to say that I feel like I'm always getting over some shit. Like, just when you heal from something, here goes something else. And now you got to heal from that. And I was like, damn. And then I started to close myself off because I felt like if I stop having experiences, then that means that I will stop having to heal from things. But I realized that um the only way to get out of the cycle of pain over that last experience is to start a new one. So like you will see women that they got a divorce and now they swear relationships off and everything like that, and they just refuse to get into a relationship because they just do not want to get their heart broken again. They will still be bitter about the divorce. A lot of them will still have a bitterness. They haven't fully got over the situation. It still like influenced them. And I felt like that's because they stuck in that cycle, because new experiences bring new lessons, and those new lessons make you conclude the old ones. So because at that time I was like refusing to date. I was really focused on school and working and being a mom and stuff like that. But I was still hurt about the situation that made me feel like I ain't never want to be in a relationship again. I was still hurt about it. And I used to ask myself, like, yo, why this taking so long to heal from this? Because in the past, I felt like I healed from things pretty quickly because um I was open to new experiences, you know. Like for instance, my first love, I gotta read about that because his name is from the Bible. His name is Herod. but we call him something else. He named something else. Anyways, so he was a Pisces. It was a it was an interesting relationship. Now, I was just very intimidated by relationships in general because I was just so inexperienced and everything. Like I never kissed somebody. I never been in a relationship, so it was just weird. And I was avoiding it. I was trying to run away from it actually. I did have one experience before, and it was just awkward. Like it was this dude at school. He liked me. He started walking me to my classes, holding my books and shit. And I just thought that was just so fucking corny because it's like I felt like he was slowing me up, you know? And I started to feel like, man, I would never want to be in a relationship at school. Like this shit is like too invasive. Like I like some privacy. And we just had too many classes together. It was just too much. So I broke whatever that was off. I wouldn't say it was a relationship. It was like an experiment. I don't know. I just allowed that shit to happen because I didn't really like him. I wasn't attracted to the way he looked or his personality. He was just very bold. He probably was a Leo, maybe a Capricorn. Mm. So one day he just basically like, I'm gonna walk you to class. I'm gonna hold your books. I'm gonna be your man. And during the whole time, I just felt like confused. And then one day I called him and was um, like I want to split up. Like I don't want to keep doing this. And he was like, yeah, me either. And I was like, cool. And he just hung up the phone. We ain't talked to each other since. So, but when I ran into this Pisces dude, I was hanging out with this girl. Now, this girl, like we was in middle school, but she had body. I mean, like ass, breast. She was tall. And like she looked it grown. She did. But she was a teenager, but I do think that she was older. Anyways, so I was hanging out with her. I really don't know how that happened. I think we just walked the same route to school and we got kind of close. She was a cool person. Like she opened up to me about things and I understood her. So we was cool. She also didn't feel like I was competition to what she wanted because she was into older guys, you know. So yeah, we was cool. Hmm. So one day we was walking. Now after school, she would go home and she would put on these booty shorts, tank top. You know, she started looking like bait because she was baiting. The Pisces had an older brother and she was interested. and his older brother. So she would go home, put on this outfit, and then she would want to walk by their house. And I didn't want to. Like I was too shy for shit like that. So I would tell her like, I just meet you around the corner. I would go down a different street and just meet her around the way. Cause I wasn't into that. I wasn't. So we did that a few times and then we'll go hang out. But one day I was meeting her around the way and behind her was a group of people. It was the Pisces, his little brother, his cousin, maybe a homeboy, this one girl, white girl, but like one of those hood white girls. She was cool. And I already met the Pisces before. Like when we was walking around this neighborhood, we ran into them, him and his cousin. So he knew me, and I guess he developed a crush on me. And because I was kind of like avoiding the whole situation, walking down a whole different street, he had to catch me. So one day he was walking with her. I seen this group of people and I was like, got me fucked up. I started walking home. I started walking off. And so the Pisces cousin ran up, caught up with me, and he put his arm around me and he was like, "Hey man, you know my cousin, he got a crush on you, right?" And I was like, "Okay." He want to know, would you be his girlfriend? And I'm just like, now it was something that I seen going on in the neighborhood that people would get into these like temporary relationships just to say that they have a boyfriend or girlfriend, but it wasn't serious and it would change very often. But I felt like it was kids trying to act grown. So, and I wasn't into that because for one, I was too shy and I was just too deep. I wasn't into shallow relationships. So I was like, I have to think about it. And he was like, all right, cool. Well, here go his number. He already had his number on a piece of paper. And he was like, so why don't you call him tonight and get him an answer around like 8 o'clock? And I was like, okay. So I went home, I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and have this experience. That's how I thought about it. Like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and have this experience. So I called him and he picked up like immediately. I called him. We had house phones then. And I told him, yeah, I'll be your girlfriend. And I heard him make a sound and then the phone hung up. And then he called me back. And then we was setting up like a time to meet and everything. He later on told me that the reason the phone hung up is because when I told him yeah, He started jumping around and the phone accidentally hung up. That's so cute, huh? Mm-mm-mm. He was so in love. I was in love with him too, but it took me time. Um, but we were just so intense. Like we had grown people looking at us, wondering, like, damn, these little kids really in love with each other. Yeah, it was like that. So, now we went to two different middle schools, which I loved. I loved that. He was such an extrovert. He always been an extrovert. I think that was like the main downfall because I'm an introvert and he used to like to have so many people around. But when we was younger and we was hanging out, we would spend a lot of time alone. It was so much that his friends would come to my house looking for him because they haven't seen him in like a week. But we would also get into like these petty fights and we will break up. And then he will always be the one who will call me and we will make up. So we had this cycle. I can't remember the arguments. I really can't. But when I got older, I think that I needed to recharge. Like sometimes being in a relationship with him was like overstimulating. So I needed time to myself. And I felt like I ain't really know how to ask for a long time. So I would kind of just like push him away so that I could have time alone. And it was also hmm, I don't know. I felt like intuitively I felt like we were just too young and eventually we would have to split up and go off and experience other things because I was starting to wonder. Like I was starting to wonder about like what else is out there. So then something happened. We broke up. He didn't call me. Usually he called me like if not that night, the next day. 2 or 3 days on went by. He have not called me, and I'm like feeling away. Also, the girl with all that body, she wasn't walking with me no more. Like she disappeared. She wasn't walking to school with me. So one day I seen her in the hall and she was just wearing a plain red shirt. But I just knew it was his shirt. I just knew it was his shirt. So I'm just looking at her like, is that like and she wouldn't make eye contact with me. Now listen, this girl was bigger than me and she knew how to fight. So I knew that she could beat my ass. So I wasn't so I wasn't trying to fight her, but I was just like I wanted answers. Like I wanted answers. Cause now I'm feeling betrayed. So after school, the way that our school is set up, if you live in a certain area, you have to walk that direction. So, and they had it real strict. So I was just waiting. I knew she had to walk that direction, but I was waiting so that I could ask her, you know, if they was talking to each other, if they was with each other. But I didn't see her. Either she left early or something, but I didn't see her. So the Scorpio dude, James, we were friends. We started to be friends at that time, and he was walking to and from school with me. And he knew. He knew that they was messing with each other. Either he heard something, he seen something. He would just always have the tea. So, yeah. But I wanted clarity. So, because I had already called a few times and he was not home and he did not call me back. So I'm in my motherfucking feelings at this point. Like I'm crying, I'm upset, I'm writing letters. I wish I still had those letters. Anyways, so I got into my pride and I stopped. I stopped calling him. I was like, I'm not gonna call him. It's just gonna be over. It's just gonna be done. And that's when I seen her with the shirt on. So now I'm like, I want to know for sure, for sure. So I had the Scorpio dude call him three-way from his phone. He picked up, and the Scorpio dude asked him, like, is he dating that girl? And he said, yeah, he was. And I started breathing hard. And he was like, I know you on the phone. I can hear you breathing. And I think I said something. Don't remember what, but I knew I was like, it wasn't rage. It was just hurt. I was just so hurt. I ain't never felt that hurt before. That was the first time I felt that hurt. I was devastated. My heart was so broken. So, mm, at this time, we was only like 13. And I started to burn stuff that he gave me. Like I had some jewelry from him. Um Teddy bears, pictures. So I was burning that shit and I felt better. Cause I was like, yo, I'm done. And then I wrote him a letter and I went to the basketball court that he play at and I gave it to him. And that was like a this is it letter. I ain't never fucking with you again. So then they broke up. Mm. And now thinking about it, I would have if I knew what I knew now, I would have known that was going to happen because he was inexperienced, like I was inexperienced. So, and I just knew. I knew it wasn't a good fit then. That's why I was so surprised because I would have had never thought that she would be interested in somebody that I'm interested in. And I would have never thought that he would be interested in her. It just never even crossed my mind. So, anyways, they broke up. And then at that point, he became obsessed. I'm talking about he was just calling me all the damn time. But at this point, I already started to be interested in somebody else. So I was like over it. So I was avoiding his phone calls. He started coming to my house. I used to be hiding in my own motherfucking house. And yeah. And it lasted for a while. It lasted all the way until he got with somebody else. And I was thankful and I was done. But we did get back together around 18, 19. And I didn't want to get back together, but at the time, like I was a young mother and I felt like maybe I needed to settle down. And I knew that he would settle down, but I started to avoid the relationship. Like instead of hanging out with him, I would go hang out with my homegirl or something. And I would be dreading going to hang out. So yeah. So when he started to cheat, you know, I was hurt, but nah, I was just hurt at that time. There was no understanding. I was just hurt. But I understand now because at some point in our relationship, he had to feel lonely with me. I was avoiding him. At that time, I had kissed somebody else and I told him about it. I was honest, but I was checking out of the relationship. So then he got with somebody and he fell in love with this motherfucker. Like he was in love. And yeah. And for some time I was really hurt. I was so hurt by it, but and I felt like I really wanted this relationship, but nah, I realized not really. Nah. So we let it go, but we still cool with each other. Like sometimes he still check up on me. Um, so we still cool. We don't talk often, but maybe once every 4 years. you know, he will start to put out like a signal, and then people who are mutual will start to tell me like, "Oh, he looking for you." But I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. I don't think we're gonna talk to each other again, which is cool. I wish him the best. And I'm thankful for the all the experience. Thankful. So yeah. Yeah, so the whole point was okay. So yeah, after that relationship though, I was thinking like being single forever, like trying to focus on work, school, and my child. Nah, I did have like a phase of, I guess, being kind of like a player. Like I would go on dates, but I wouldn't really connect with people. I would um be real flighty with people. Mm-mm. I felt like I wanted to connect, but I felt like everybody I was meeting didn't really spark interest. So I went through a phase like that. Like I will meet people and it just is not clicking. Like it's not clicking. And I'm one of those people that I need to feel it in my soul for me to get into a relationship with somebody. I have to feel it because you could be a good person. You could have a good job and you might really care about me. Um, but nah, it has to be something in the mentality because especially with men, but with I smoked a joint before, so excuse me. Um, but beforehand, no, no, no. But with women, intellect is important, but other more shallow things is also important with women to me. I feel like I have a like I only like feminine women. Mm, it's really a different energy with women. But anyways, with men though, I fell in love with men who um it was their personality. It wasn't the way that they look. It was their personality and their mindset. Because I felt like I don't really have a type. If you look at everybody that I dated was in a relationship with, they all look different. I always dated black men though. I just never could really connect with white men. Then it's like they fetishize you and then they also feel intimidated by you. I mean, I'm open to if there's a white man that could show me something different, but so far, that's what it's like. It's kind of similar with black men who only dated white women, who mostly got white friends. It's the same with them. It's kind of worse actually because those type of men, they usually judge me pretty harshly. I don't know what it is. I feel like they might feel as if I'm hood. So they put me like in that type of category, like I'm hood, I'm ratchet or something like that. They don't have no real reason to think that, but they just project that on me. And then what will happen is a situation will manifest that they have to see who I really am. And then that's when they become attracted to me. But usually by that point, they already disrespecting me in some type of way because they judge me. And even when they become attracted to me, they become intimidated, like the white man. But to be honest with you, man in general, they fucked up. Like they don't know how to give within a divine union. They don't know how. And I don't feel like they open to it. Like I feel like divine feminine women, they go through it because for one, motherfuckers get intimidated. But it's not the same intimidation as in a man coming across a woman who had more money and power. It's not that type of intimidation. It's they intimidated with being seen. They intimidated by the truth. They intimidated by the light because it's gonna shine on their shadows, and that's really scary for them. So they run away from it. I remember watching that movie Moonstruck, and they was having a conversation, and she was like, "You can't even see that you cut off your own hand to get you out of a toxic situation that wasn't going to make you happy." Hmm. That's a weird movie. Like I just thought it was kind of comedic to me because it was so dramatic. But I fuck with it. I fuck with it. So yeah, now I've been filtering through energies or releasing it as it come through. You know, first you feel kind of like disappointed, and then you feel kind of like bitter, like, I ain't never doing that shit again. I ain't never expressing myself like that again. I ain't never doing that again. But then you go through like a ego death and you know, I love the way I am. I know motherfuckers love it too. I know that shit drive them crazy. So, when I be thinking about it with a sense of clarity, I'm not the issue. Other motherfuckers the issue. It's the motherfucking truth though. It's a motherfucking truth. Damn, bitch. Like, mm-mm-mm. And just coming to that realization really set me free from a lot of shit. So, I'ma just be me and be beautiful and be how I am. I know every motherfucking time that I fall in love with a motherfucker, the world gonna know. So that's how I love. Period. I can't even help it. I express it. I talk about it. I just be so, people don't understand how I be feeling. I be so mm, in oneness with the energy. If I am in that, there's times, especially when people doing spell work, the love spells are really horrible because, it's in strong disagreements with your energy. So you will have these feelings for somebody, but you can't make sense of it. It feel like a war inside of you, like, why? Why? You keep asking yourself, there's no clarity. You can't find inner reasons. And the ones that you try to grasp onto, you realize they're not real because the person who is doing this to you, the reason why they're doing it is because they got something dark that they don't want to be discovered. That's the only reason people do shit like that. So, but it really feel like you being violated because you is. And I strongly disagree with that. I strongly disagree with anybody doing that. Um, and I wish people would stop doing that. It's only selfishness. You have to think of the intent. You're trying to force somebody to feel, think, and perceive you in a way that they naturally don't. How would you feel if somebody that you wasn't interested in, like let's say I went on a date, but you wasn't interested in them, but they interested in you, so they do spell work on you to get you to fall in love with them. How would you feel about that? How would you feel? Like it ain't right. It ain't right. And I don't give a fuck. You can't think of a reason to make it right because you taking away somebody's free will. If you wouldn't want that shit done to you, you shouldn't be doing it. And whatever delusion in your head, because sometimes people try to justify it with, I know that I could make this person happy. I know that I could give them what they want if only they see me like that. So that's how they justify it because they see themselves as a great partner. So it ain't right. Because if you are that, then you could show somebody that you are that without manipulating energy. Like that's the other thing. Like, there'll be women who look at me and like I'm real upfront and everything. And they would be like, that ain't ladylike. Women ain't supposed to do that and shit like that. But these be the main motherfuckers doing these love spells. Versus, why couldn't you just go up there and be real with a motherfucker? Tell this person that you like them. Tell them that you're interested in them. Stop playing games. Like, stop fucking playing games. Just do that. But yet, instead, they want to do spell work. That don't make no fucking sense to me. That don't make no fucking sense to me on a high vibrational level because when you in tune with yourself and you love yourself, you don't want to do that to somebody else. And the people who offer those services where they do love spells on a particular person, now it's different. I do feel like it's okay to do like general love spells. Like, let's say that you do a love spell and you want to open up the communication, put out the signal that you are open and ready to receive love and intimacy. Cool. Because the people who answer to that call, they're going to do it with their own free will. But see, when you focusing on a one specific particular person, that's when shit get messy. Now we casting spells all the time, so you going to a person and you telling them that you fuck with them is also casting a spell. But see, that's the way that you do it without the karmic debt. So yeah, it's just fucked up out here for real, for real. Hmm. I was thinking about fucking though. I was thinking about it. Hmm. I have somebody that I trust, and they expressed to me that they want to be intimate with me, and I turned it down. This was a while ago, but I know that if I wanted to, I could. I don't know if y'all hear that damn rooster. Like, I thought they only supposed to make noise at the crack of dawn. Anyway, so I don't know, child. See, I don't like casual sex. Kinda don't even believe in it, you know? So I don't know. I don't know for real. And then I think about like, why do I even feel that way? Why I'm even thinking about it? And, you know, energetically, I feel like I want a different energy to push out that other energy out of me so that I could detach more. That's why we even do the whole rebound thing. It's almost like a cord cutting ritual, but it's better ways. It's better ways. I mean, I think this person they want more than that, you know? And I don't know if that's what I want. And I feel like I should only be intimate with people that I feel like I want something more with them because I know that an attachment is going to create and no. And there's another part of me that just want to be intimate. I want to be touched. I want to be loved on. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about it. I do want to try to connect with sex in a different way, but I just know how powerful sex is. And I'd rather to be having sex with pure intentions because you're going to get the best manifestation out of it. Hmm. Yeah, and then I think about like vulnerability. I feel like now that I'm more aware, sex became even more delicate to me because I feel everything. So I did do a reading on Beyonce. I'ma edit it and maybe release it today, hopefully. Stay blessed, y'all.